You know what makes me really frustrated? Walking into my office and seeing someone pull out a shopping bag full of vitamin bottles. I'm talking 15, 20 different supplements they've been told will help their leg circulation. And when I ask them if any of it is actually working, they pause. They look down at their feet, and then they admit they don't know. They're just hoping something in that bag will make a difference because their legs hurt. They're tired of not being able to walk like they used to, and they're desperate for a solution. I'm Dr. Sarah Wilson, and I've been working in medicine for over 30 years. I've seen every supplement trend come and go. I've watched the circulatory supplement industry explode into a $50 billion a year business. And here's what I can tell you after 3 decades of clinical experience, after reviewing countless studies, after working with thousands of patients, most of those vitamins and supplements marketed for leg circulation do absolutely nothing. Some of them might even make things worse. And the ones that do work? You don't need to buy them in a bottle. You need to eat them in real food. Today I'm going to tell you about the only 2 nutrients that consistently, reliably improve blood flow in your legs. Just 2. And I'm going to explain exactly why they work, where to get them from real food, how much you need, and the mistakes people make that sabotage their results. I'm also going to tell you which supplements you can throw away right now and save yourself hundreds of dollars a month. But before I get into the science, I want you to understand why this matters so much. When your leg circulation starts to fail, it doesn't just mean cold feet or a little discomfort. It means your independence is at risk. It means walking to the mailbox becomes exhausting. It means climbing a flight of stairs feels impossible. It means you can't keep up with your grandkids. It means you start avoiding activities you used to love because your legs just won't cooperate. I see this all the time. People who used to walk for miles, who used to garden, who used to travel, who used to live full, active lives, and now they're stuck at home because their legs hurt too much, or they're too tired, or they're afraid they won't be able to make it back. That's what poor circulation does. It steals your mobility, and when it steals your mobility, it steals your independence and your quality of life. And the early signs are sneaky. You might notice your feet are always cold, even in warm weather. You might feel a throbbing sensation in your legs after standing for a while. You might see unusual discoloration around your ankles, maybe a purplish or mottled look. You might notice that small cuts or scrapes on your feet take forever to heal. These are all signs that blood isn't flowing to your legs the way it should, and if you ignore them, they get worse. So let's talk about the 2 nutrients that can actually fix this. And I mean really fix it, not just mask the symptoms or give you a temporary placebo effect. I'm talking about measurable, objective improvements in blood flow that you can see on ultrasound and feel in your daily life. The first nutrient is vitamin K2. Not vitamin K1, which you get from leafy greens and which helps with blood clotting. I'm talking about vitamin K2, which is a completely different nutrient with a completely different job, and this job is critical for your leg circulation. Here's what vitamin K2 does. As we age, calcium doesn't always go where it's supposed to. A lot of people take calcium supplements thinking they're protecting their bones, and meanwhile, that calcium is depositing in their arteries instead. This is called arterial calcification, and it's one of the main reasons blood flow to the legs gets worse over time. When your arteries get stiff and calcified, blood can't flow through them efficiently. Your legs don't get the oxygen and nutrients they need. You feel tired, you feel pain, you lose mobility. Vitamin K2 reverses this. It activates specific proteins in your body, proteins with names like matrix Glay protein and osteocalcin, that pull calcium out of your arterial walls and send it back to your bones where it belongs. It's like a traffic cop directing calcium to the right place and keeping it out of the wrong place. When you have adequate vitamin K2, your arteries stay flexible and clear. Blood flows better. Your legs get the circulation they need. But here's the problem. Most people are severely deficient in vitamin K2. The typical Western diet doesn't provide nearly enough of it, and the synthetic vitamin K2 supplements you see in stores don't absorb well. They don't work the same way as the natural form from food, so even if you're taking a K2 pill, you might not be getting the benefit. Where do you actually get vitamin K2 from food? The absolute best source is natto. Natto is a traditional Japanese fermented soybean dish. It has an incredibly high concentration of vitamin K2 in a form called MK7, which is the most bioavailable and longest-lasting form in your body. A small serving of natto, we're talking about 2 to 3 ounces, can give you more K2 than most people get in an entire week from other foods. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Natto has a very strong, pungent taste and a sticky, slimy texture. A lot of people can't handle it. But if you can, even eating it a few times a week will flood your system with K2 and start reversing arterial calcification. Some people mix it with soy sauce, mustard, or green onions to make it more palatable. Some people eat it on rice. Some people just hold their nose and swallow it because they know it works. If natto is too much for you, the next best sources are aged cheeses. And I'm talking about real, traditionally aged cheeses like Gouda, Brie, aged cheddar, Emmental, and Edam. During the fermentation and aging process, bacteria produce vitamin K2. The longer the cheese is aged, the more K2 it has. A few ounces of aged Gouda a day can give you a solid dose of K2. And most people actually enjoy eating cheese, so this is a much easier option for a lot of folks. Pasture-raised egg yolks are another good source. When chickens are allowed to roam outside, eat grass, and peck at bugs, the K2 content in their eggs goes way up. If you're eating conventional eggs from chickens raised in cages on grain-based feed, you're getting almost no K2. But if you're eating pasture-raised eggs from a local farm or a high-quality source, those yolks are rich in K2. 2 to 3 pasture-raised eggs a day can contribute significantly. Grass-fed butter is another source. When cows eat fresh grass instead of grain, the butter they produce has much higher levels of K2. A tablespoon or 2 of grass-fed butter a day, used for cooking or spread on vegetables, adds to your K2 intake. And finally, certain organ meats, especially liver from grass-fed animals, contain K2. I know organ meats aren't for everyone, but if you can handle them, they're nutrient powerhouses. The key with all of these foods is that you're getting K2 in its natural form, embedded in a whole food matrix that your body recognizes and can use efficiently, not from a synthetic pill that your gut struggles to absorb. Let me tell you about Dorothy. She's 73, came to me with terrible leg pain and cramping. She couldn't walk more than half a block without needing to sit down. We did an ultrasound, and her arteries were significantly calcified. She'd been taking a calcium supplement for years because her doctor told her to protect her bones, but nobody had told her about K2. I told her to stop the calcium supplement immediately and start eating aged Gouda cheese and pasture-raised eggs every day. She looked at me like I was crazy. She said, "That's it? Cheese and eggs?" I said yes. 3 months later, we repeated the ultrasound. The calcification had stopped progressing. Her arteries were actually starting to look more flexible. Her leg cramps were gone. She could walk 3 blocks without stopping. 6 months later, she was walking a mile at a time. She told me it felt like she'd gotten her life back, all from getting vitamin K2 from real food. Now, the second nutrient is vitamin E. And I need to be very, very clear here because vitamin E is one of the most misunderstood and misrepresented nutrients in the supplement industry. When I say vitamin E, I'm not talking about the cheap synthetic alpha-tocopherol you see in most pills. I'm talking about the complete natural spectrum of vitamin E, which includes 8 different forms, 4 tocopherols and 4 tocotrienols. Here's why this matters. Vitamin E is absolutely critical for protecting your endothelium, which is the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels. The endothelium is like the smooth, protective coating inside a pipe. It controls blood flow, regulates inflammation, prevents clots, and keeps your arteries healthy. When the endothelium is damaged by oxidative stress, inflammation, free radicals, high blood sugar, or other metabolic issues, your blood vessels can't function properly. Blood flow slows down, circulation suffers, your legs don't get the oxygen and nutrients they need. Natural vitamin E, in its complete 8-form spectrum from food, shields the endothelium from damage. It's a powerful antioxidant that neutralizes the free radicals that attack your blood vessel walls. It reduces inflammation. It keeps your vessels flexible, responsive, and healthy. Study after study shows that people who get adequate vitamin E from food have significantly better cardiovascular health, better circulation, and lower rates of vascular disease. But here's the problem. The vitamin E supplements you see on store shelves are almost always isolated, synthetic alpha-tocopherol, and when you take high doses of just that one form, it can actually deplete the other 7 forms of vitamin E in your body. You end up creating an imbalance. Your body needs all 8 forms working together. When you flood your system with just one synthetic form, you disrupt that balance, and you can end up worse off than when you started. On top of that, synthetic alpha-tocopherol doesn't provide the cardiovascular benefits of natural, full-spectrum vitamin E. In some large studies, high-dose synthetic vitamin E supplements have been associated with increased health risks, including higher rates of heart failure and prostate issues in some populations. So not only do they not help, they might actually harm. Where do you get real, natural vitamin E with all 8 forms in the ratios your body needs? The best sources are raw sunflower seeds, almonds, hazelnuts, and wheat germ. These whole foods give you the complete spectrum of vitamin E along with other beneficial nutrients, healthy fats, minerals, fiber, that work together to support your vascular health. How much do you need? A 1/4 cup of raw sunflower seeds gives you a hefty dose. A couple ounces of almonds or hazelnuts. A tablespoon or 2 of wheat germ sprinkled on your yogurt or oatmeal. Cold-pressed oils made from these foods, like sunflower oil or wheat germ oil, are also excellent, but they have to be truly cold-pressed and stored properly in dark bottles to preserve the vitamin E content. The key is consistency. You're not going to get the benefits from eating a handful of almonds once a week. You need to make this a daily habit. A small handful of raw nuts or seeds every day. A drizzle of cold-pressed sunflower oil on your salad. A sprinkle of wheat germ on your breakfast. Simple, delicious, effective. Let me tell you about Carl. He's 69, had been taking a high-dose synthetic vitamin E supplement for years because he read somewhere it was good for his heart. But his legs felt heavy and tired all the time. He couldn't walk more than a block without his calves aching. His feet were always cold. I told him to stop the synthetic supplement and start eating a handful of raw almonds and a tablespoon of wheat germ every day. Within 2 weeks, he noticed his legs felt lighter. By 1 month, he could walk 3 times farther without discomfort. By 3 months, his vascular ultrasound showed measurable improvement in endothelial function. The lining of his blood vessels was healthier and more responsive. All from switching from a synthetic pill to real food. If you're finding this helpful and you want more evidence-based practical health tips like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. I create content to help you cut through the marketing noise and focus on what actually works, and I'd love to have you here learning with me. Now, let me address the elephant in the room. What about all those other supplements people take for leg circulation? L-arginine, horse chestnut, cayenne capsules, ginkgo biloba, grapeseed extract, butcher's broom, diosmin. The list goes on and on. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of them don't have robust, consistent evidence for improving leg circulation. Some of them have weak or mixed results in studies. Some of them address symptoms like swelling or discomfort without actually improving arterial blood flow. Some of them are based on outdated or misinterpreted research. And some of them are just clever marketing designed to separate you from your money. I'm not saying every single one of these is useless. I'm saying that for the average person dealing with poor leg circulation, the return on investment is minimal. You're spending a lot of money on marginal or unproven benefits when you could be focusing on the two nutrients that have clear, consistent, measurable evidence: vitamin K2 and natural vitamin E from food. Let me tell you about Linda. She's 76, came to me with a literal shopping bag full of supplements. She was taking 15 different bottles: L-arginine for blood flow, horse chestnut for vein health, cayenne for circulation, ginkgo for oxygen, CoQ10 for energy, grapeseed extract for antioxidants, and a bunch of others I'd never even heard of. She was spending over $250 a month on all of this. I asked her if her legs felt better. She said no. She said she'd been taking them for over a year and nothing had changed. We did a complete reset. I told her to stop everything except vitamin K2 from aged cheese and pasture-raised eggs and natural vitamin E from almonds and sunflower seeds. I explained the science. She was nervous. She felt like she was giving up. But she trusted me. 2 months later, she came back and said her legs felt better than they had in years. She could walk without pain. She had more energy. Her feet weren't cold all the time. And she was saving nearly $200 a month. That's real food, real results, real savings. Here's how you actually implement this in a practical, sustainable way. First, audit your current supplement regimen. Write down every single vitamin or supplement you're taking for circulation or vascular health and how much it costs per month. Add it all up. Then ask yourself honestly, are my legs actually better? Am I walking farther? Do I have less pain? Is my circulation improving? If the answer is no, you're wasting your money. Second, focus on getting vitamin K2 from food every single day. If you can handle natto, eat a small serving 3 to 4 times a week. If natto is too much, eat a few ounces of aged cheese every day. Gouda is my personal favorite because it's high in K2, and most people genuinely enjoy the taste. Add pasture-raised eggs to your breakfast, 2 to 3 eggs cooked any way you like. Use grass-fed butter on your vegetables or for cooking. These are simple, delicious foods that give you what you need. Third, get natural vitamin E from whole food sources every day. Eat a 1/4 cup of raw sunflower seeds as a snack. Eat a couple ounces of raw almonds or hazelnuts. Sprinkle a tablespoon of wheat germ on your yogurt, oatmeal, or smoothie. Use cold-pressed sunflower oil or hazelnut oil on salads. Make it part of your routine, not something you have to think about or plan for. What can you expect? Within 2 weeks, you should notice reduced cramping and less heaviness in your legs. The constant aching starts to ease. By 1 month, your walking tolerance should improve. You'll be able to go farther without discomfort or fatigue. By 3 months, if you were to get a vascular ultrasound, you'd likely see measurable improvements in arterial flexibility and endothelial health. These are real, objective changes, not just placebo. Let me give you a simple daily plan you can start today. For breakfast, have 2 to 3 pasture-raised eggs cooked in grass-fed butter with a side of sautéed greens. Mid-morning snack, a 1/4 cup of raw sunflower seeds or a couple ounces of almonds. Lunch, a large salad with mixed greens, grilled chicken or fish, a few ounces of aged Gouda cheese cubed on top, and a drizzle of cold-pressed sunflower oil. Afternoon snack, a handful of raw hazelnuts. Dinner, any protein and vegetables you like, cooked in grass-fed butter or olive oil. Before bed, a small piece of aged cheddar if you're still hungry. That's it. You're getting vitamin K2 from the eggs, butter, and cheese. You're getting natural vitamin E from the sunflower seeds, almonds, hazelnuts, and cold-pressed oil. You're not taking a single pill. You're eating real, whole food that tastes good and makes you feel better. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but what about my doctor? What about the supplements they recommended? Here's what I tell my patients. Have an honest, respectful conversation with your doctor. Show them the evidence for food-based K2 and natural vitamin E. Ask them if there's a specific medical reason you need to be taking any other supplements for circulation. A good doctor will work with you. They'll appreciate that you're being proactive, informed, and engaged in your own health. And if your doctor insists you keep taking supplements that aren't working and won't consider the food-based approach, it might be time to get a second opinion. Let me tell you one more story. His name was Frank, 81 years old, had been struggling with leg pain and poor circulation for over a decade. He'd been to vascular specialists. He'd had multiple ultrasounds. He'd tried every supplement under the sun. Nothing helped. He was starting to think he'd never walk comfortably again. When he came to me, I told him the same thing I'm telling you. Stop the pills, eat real food, focus on K2 and natural vitamin E. He was frustrated at first. He said, "That's it? That's your big solution? Cheese, eggs, and almonds?" I said yes. He didn't believe me, but he was desperate enough to try. 6 months later, Frank walked into my office without a cane. He hadn't used it in 2 months. He said his legs felt strong and steady for the first time in years. He was walking his dog every day, something he hadn't been able to do in over 5 years. He told me he'd spent thousands of dollars over the years on supplements that did nothing, and the answer was sitting in his refrigerator and pantry the whole time. That's the power of real food. That's the power of focusing on what actually works instead of chasing every new supplement trend and miracle cure that the industry throws at you. The bottom line is this: your leg circulation doesn't need 15 different pills. It doesn't need a complicated, expensive regimen. It needs 2 nutrients from real, whole foods. Vitamin K2 to pull calcium out of your arteries and keep your vessels flexible. Natural vitamin E to protect your endothelium and reduce inflammation. Everything else is noise. Everything else is marketing. Everything else is a distraction from what your body actually needs. You don't need to spend hundreds of dollars a month. You don't need to fill your medicine cabinet with bottles. You need to eat aged cheese, pasture-raised eggs, grass-fed butter, raw nuts, seeds, and use cold-pressed oils. Simple, affordable, effective. Mobility is independence. When your legs work, you can live your life. You can go where you want to go, do what you want to do, stay connected to the people and places you love. Don't let poor circulation steal that from you. And don't let the supplement industry convince you that the answer is in a bottle. Nourish your vessels with real food. Give your body what it needs. Be consistent, be patient, and watch how your legs respond. If you found this helpful, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me what your current supplement routine looks like and whether you're ready to make the switch to real food. Tell me where you're watching from. Share your experiences with leg circulation, what's worked, what hasn't worked, and what you're going to try next. And please, hit that like button and share this video with anyone who might benefit. Friends, family, anyone who's spending money on supplements that aren't delivering results. Also, I really want to know what topics you want me to cover next. What are you struggling with? What questions do you have about circulation, aging, nutrition, mobility, vascular health, whatever it is? Tell me in the comments. I do my research, I dig into the science, and I make videos based on what you need to know. So let me know. Your input helps me create content that's actually useful and relevant to your life. This is about taking control of your health in a way that's grounded in science, accessible, affordable, and actually works. You deserve better than clever marketing and empty promises. You deserve real solutions. 2 nutrients from real foods, real results, real independence. I'm Dr. Sarah Wilson. See you in the next video.